Ooh, cute thing. Super short video today. I don't mean to be a stick in the mud about what is being said in songs and the songs that we listen to, but maybe it would be valuable to just break down, just like if the lyrics weren't put to a tune, and if it was just someone saying it to you, like just words saying it to you, or what the core idea of each like chunk of the song is that something that you would want to be hearing constantly? It's no different than like when you have a mantra and you say it to yourself, or the kind of people that you follow on Twitter and the things that they say, and the kind of images you consume on Instagram. It is an exposure to an idea. That's what it is. Music is an exposure to an idea. Even if you don't listen to music for the lyrics, you'll likely be surprised at the ideas that are being communicated in the songs that you listen to a lot, even if you aren't really listening to them. I don't know, but I guess I'll point out the example of also, you know, how many times you get a song stuck in your head and you weren't really listening to the lyrics, but you just soaked them up, and so then you're humming them to yourself, or you're saying them to yourself throughout the day. And if you're listening to a song where, for instance, this is an example, it's not just this way, but it could be, where the singer is talking about how they're so sorry to their partner and that they're gonna be better and like they're the best that they're gonna have and things like that. How I view that, and it's up to you, but how I view that is a lot of times communications of like, I'm gonna do better if I get back. And especially if the singer is like in the lyrics conveying that it's like a frequent offender, like this is not their first time screwing you over, it is kind of repeating this idea to you of letting people come back if they say these things, even if they've repeatedly shown that they're not good, or they've repeatedly shown that they don't hold weight, or that they are not going to benefit you and your life, and that like trying to persuade you that you won't be better off without them, when in almost every case in the world, you know, if you're able to get away and you have the resources, you are going to be better off without this person who is consistently letting you down and begging to come back. So that's an example. And it could be any sort of a relationship dynamic, any sort of gender setup. But that's an example of, so there's a situation, and that's how those lyrics or the situation translate. And then if you find yourself saying those lines to yourself, you're repeating it to yourself all day. Do you see what I mean? And so sometimes we have guilty pleasures. I have guilty pleasures, but being aware of the ideas communicated in the music you listen to, in like a metaphysical sense of the music you listen to, the ideas that it communicates, and how it's kind of similar to when in movies like rom-coms people behave in certain ways and there's like tropes about it, and it like we see these relationships play out on screen, and sometimes we come to consider that to be a valid example of a relationship. And it can happen even if you don't, like even if you know in your heart of hearts that that's not a valid example of a relationship, if you're exposed to the idea, it can still like kind of wiggle its way in there and take hold, even if you know that that's not a relationship dynamic you want for yourself. And that's kind of something I propose as something else to consider with it, is that if you're listening to these songs and you're realizing that they communicate these situations that you don't want, or dealing with situations in a way you don't want to deal with them, then pointing out, I don't want that in my life, and as such, not listening to the song as often, or removing it from a playlist, or just removing it altogether. That can be like, you could see that as an active choice that you are reducing the opportunities for a situation like that to become normalized to you. And when you do that, when you're saying, this is not normal behavior, I don't want this to come across as normal behavior, and I don't want myself to keep hearing this as normal behavior, that's just an example. So that, because I think even if you're not into this kind of stuff, or like you don't really like agree with the idea of like mantras or whatever, I think it could be interesting at the very least, and it could potentially be valuable to just take an audit of the ideas communicated in your songs, because you might find that you already have songs that where the ideas communicated, they are things that you want to have in life. Or you may find that your songs that you listen to typically portray situations that you wouldn't actually want to be in, or you wouldn't actually want to experience. You wouldn't actually want to let someone with these traits into your life and taking up your time, for instance. You wouldn't want to be in these situations where you... Now, okay, there's a time and a place for listening to sad songs, and I think that is, but be mindful, if possible, if you're interested in it, in how often you listen to these songs, how you interpret these songs. Because if you listen to sad songs all the time that make you feel sad because they're sad songs, that one just explains itself. Like, you're not gonna feel great if you're always listening to sad songs that make you feel sad. That's why I have a cry playlist of songs that something about the harmonies or like what they're singing about, I don't know what it is, but just like flips the switch and it's waterworks. It's very helpful. So that's a long-winded example to consider. So I'm gonna cut it off there because it's like 11 o'clock. I'm doing this bit after editing the other pieces, and God, do I love the shots where I'm just being cute, or one of the cats is just being cute, and I don't have to like edit through my talking or anything, because I learned I take up so much space, like so many spare words. There's so many spare words when I talk, so many unnecessary gasps and spare words, just like that. So, and I'm talking a lot with my hands. That's what happens when your nails get long and you paint them a color you like. You just can't shut up with them. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna stop it there, but I'd be happy to like talk a little bit about this more so if people were more interested in a more organized thought. So with that, I hope that you have had a nice day. Hope you have a nice night, nice morning, nice day, whatever it is, and I will see you tomorrow.